Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be making a video on the concept of command, how to get the most out of it, and why I think you should use it. So let's jump right in. First things first, we're going to define the difference between commanders and leaders. Commanders are units that are located in the support tab. Each deck has access to 3 commanders, one per phase of the game, that can come in either a vehicle or as a squad of infantry. In German decks, these units are typically designated BEF or BEF before the name, while the Russian decks, they are typically called combat units, KOMBAT. Among the other decks in the game, they have varying names, but they all function the same, and for the purposes of this video, I don't want to waste time naming all of the other units that are commanders. Once you know what to look for, finding them is easy enough, even though the names have changed. They are indicated by a symbol that resembles 3 stars inside of a yellow circle. Leaders, on the other hand, are units that are currently located in 3 different tabs of each deck: infantry, tank, and artillery. These units are designated by a single star within a yellow circle, and are typically called Führers in German decks and Kamradi in Russian decks. Now that we can identify them, let's take a look at what veterancy does and how it works in this game. Now, veterancy is an odd concept, especially if you're coming directly from Red Dragon or another Eugen game, as it's unique to Steel Division. Basically, any unit in the game can have, at maximum, 3 stars of veterancy. We will be going over how to raise the veterancy using command here in just a moment. But for right now, we are going to look at how the veterancy increases the efficiency of a unit. For this, we will use the Strelki, a basic Russian rifleman unit found in many decks as an example. Specifically, let's look at the single PPSH-41 light machine gun that they carry. At no star veterancy, this weapon fires at 171 rounds per minute at 60% accuracy. At 1 star accuracy, we see that it goes up to 202 rounds per minute at a 69% accuracy. Again, at 2 star veterancy, we see it go up to 229 rounds per minute at a 75% accuracy. This indicates that there is a diminishing return on veterancy toward those stats in this case, but we aren't going to go terribly far into the math for that. From this, we can extrapolate that the Strelki at 3 star veterancy would fire approximately 256 rounds per minute at roughly 81% accuracy with that PPSH. Alright, now time to look at command and how it works within the game. Commanders, the combats, commandants, and BEF units that we looked at just earlier, are some of the most important units in the game. They raise the veterancy of units in a 240 meter radius around themselves by 2 stars and serve as a starting point for your chain of command. More on that topic in a bit. This means that if you bring in any 1-star unit, it will be raised to the highest veterancy available just for being in sheer proximity to this commander. We've already seen how powerful this can be on a single weapon of a basic unit, so imagine it on your anti-aircraft weapons or super heavy tanks. All that said, 240 meters is a small radius in the scheme of any given map, and risking your expensive commander on the front lines is a recipe for disaster. That's where leaders come in. Leaders by themselves give units around them in that same 240 meter radius 1 star worth of veterancy. That said, if they are within 1500 meters of a commander, they instead give the same bonus as if the commander were there instead. These leaders indicate that they are connected to the commander by a solid yellow line between them and the commander they're linked to. If the leader ever leaves the range of the commander, it will instead be indicated by a broken or dotted yellow line with a bar running perpendicular to indicate where the leader must move to regain this bonus. Where this becomes a chain is if you have a leader within 1500 meters of your commander, you can then chain this to another 1000 meters from this leader to any other leader. I have, on more than one occasion, chained command across an entire map because my commander was killed in a horrible artillery accident, or a misplay on my part. I am not exaggerating when I say command is likely one of the most impactful ways to improve your gameplay. It makes each unit as much as 50% better for as little as using better positioning. This is a tremendous way to help your tanks outbox the enemies, make your infantry trade better in that crucial city fight, and make the difference for your AA to shoot down the plane instead of just scaring it off. After all of that, I'm going to talk about how to apply this knowledge in the making of decks. Let me begin by saying that there are several ways to play the game, and mine is hardly the only or even the best one, but I can show you my process for new players or even experienced players looking for another way to play. When creating a deck, I would advise using at least one leader card in each role, and using as many of them as you can justify throughout games. What's more, once you've had a few chances to play a deck, take note of the units that you're not able to bring in, be it for lack of points, time, or some other reason, and think about raising the veterancy on these units. I like to keep my important units, such as super heavy tanks and anti-aircraft weapons, at 1 star, as this is easy enough to keep near command. I rarely bring in units at 2 stars, but those that I would consider are raider units that are going to be operating further from the commander than would be reasonable to get a chain to. Units such as Big Light Pioneer, Automachiki, Gornostrelki are great examples of this. Such units at 2 stars would only require a leader nearby to attain max veterancy and can operate any distance from a commander. It took me quite some time of playing this game before I grasped the full efficacy of command on units, and even longer before I was able to position things in such a way to take full effect of this. If you're looking for the quickest way to improve your play, this is it. I've even gone so far as to bring in my super heavy tanks such as IS-2s and King Tigers at 1 star veterancy whenever possible, even though it greatly reduces the number I can get. Lastly, I know that other channels, specifically Vulcan HD Gaming, Bubblebox, and Scout Spirit have made videos on this concept, so if I didn't do a great job explaining it, be sure to check those out. The main points that I wanted to hit are just how important I find this mechanic within the game. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the battlefield with your adequately commanded units.